All right. Greetings, folks. Happy day. Welcome. Um, there's going to be a lot of new people here, and for them, I want to talk a little bit about where you are and who I am. This is Real Things Artisans Cooperative. This is not like this is a studio. This is artist studio here. This is a workspace, maker space. We have the drums to around. I forget what all else. I have several flutes, not just the recorder you see me playing all the time. Um, I'm 64 years old. I was born in Chicago. I come from a Reformed Jewish background. What used to be called upper middle class. We weren't real rich, but we definitely weren't poor. We were comfortable, uh, and lived in Lakeview. Oh boy, that's manipulating America's global assholes. Um, we're not going to be talking about religion or politics here today. That's not on the agenda. And anybody who's pressing it, this is a serious discussion. Hi, Dopefish. Happy day. This is a serious discussion, and there's a two-strike rule here. You're going to be told that you're off topic, and if you continue off topic, okay, goodbye. This is not a free speech space. Take it somewhere else. I'm doing okay, thank you. Seriously, you are not gonna invade this channel with that shit. I'm sorry, ain't happening. Hopefully some people with wrenches will show up. Dopefish, you just got wrenched. Please keep an eye on these people, and anybody I say, anybody, it's two strikes and you're out. Here, that's this channel. It's two strikes and you're out. We are not arguing with anybody. We're not debating anything here. We're discussing people and things, not trying to shame and blame people and things for your own bad habits. My family actually, I didn't transition until 5 years ago, and they had plenty of years to think about it. And our relationships today is much better than it ever was. They understood. Last fall, I had a near miss with a trans man, and they thought they were going to get a son-in-law, and that improved our communications a whole lot. There's still things that need to be fixed, but I think my family understands and is supportive. They signed. When the president, the White House, when that shit came down about transgender or something or other, I forget exactly what it was. They signed a letter that was going around saying that they were the parents of a transgender person, and they totally supported transgender equality. As long as you've gone there, that's one of the biggest myths, false myths, total fable, that the parents are transing the kids. What the parents are doing is allowing the kids to be themselves. And this is something that the doctors, it's all about the Hippocratic Oath. The kids were killing themselves and presenting horrible behavioral health issues when they were being forced to conform to the cisnormative heteronormative standards. You're cisgender. Girls don't have penises, and boys don't have vaginas. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. That's not true. Sex and gender are not always the same between the gonads and the brain. Plain and simple. That's the way it works. It's the masculinity and femininity in the brain are controlled by all sorts of different centers. So there's no there's no distinctly male brain and no distinctly female brain. There are just certain centers and processes that are going on that are what result in what's masculine or feminine behaviors. And that's behavior. And where all the big conflict is over. This is what I'm talking about right now. This is a genetic thing that you have. There's only two sexes, but there's all kinds of differences in sexual development. In myself, for instance, I'm not sure exactly what was going on down there, but I was subjected to some surgical modification that left me with typical male gonads, but a brain that's saying, no, I'm female. There was never any doubt in my mind that my brain is saying, no, in my dream body, I'm female. I had vivid dreams of being female. I still do. Never saw myself as male inside. And this is very common among people, especially transsexuals. That's what drives them. It's like, fuck, oh my God, this is just it. You know, there's phallophobia. It's just a total, like, man, a lot of them just, it's a cancerous growth that they have to get rid of. Carolyn Cossey's autobiography is very interesting on that subject, and why she went through a medical transition. And her sex toy was wrong. She had the wrong sex toy for her attractions, and she had to get it. She had to get that corrected, and that's big driving force in transsexuals' motivation. But then there's a huge number of transgender people that are non-binary, that are able to cope with the transgender condition, that expresses one as the opposite gender without any surgery, or as either or neither. There's a lot of, so like pretty much I was forced into this because there was only a certain limit of masculinity I was willing to go for. It's like I wasn't going to ruin my girly figure pumping iron. That wasn't going to happen. I kept myself fit by dancing and playing music. I wasn't going to go do a Bruce Jenner thing and go win the decathlon. That's something a lot of people do. A lot of trans women do, is they'll be shamed into denial. This is something that Paris Lise was touching on. She's a real powerful thread. Let me give you the links to. I think I put the link to that in the. Here it is. A very powerful thread by Paris Lise that was joined by someone named Eaten by Whales, and the whole thing was picked up with tagged to me, Eaten by a Whale, and Paris in the thread reader application. So let me give you a link to that, because that's what we're going to be talking about. This is about what the transgender condition truly is, without any of the bullshit, without any of the myths attached, and what life as a transgender person is like in today's world. And some of us have stories to tell about yesterday's world. Lots of us have stories to tell about yesterday's world. I hope others will show up. I know that this is going to be like genteel, polite, civilized, happy. We're embracing. It's all about embracing what's right, what's true and enduring in humanity. And one of those things is diversity. We're all individuals. We're all given the individual free will to create what we're going to create. So let me back out a little bit and give you a little more introduction on myself, my background, quick disclaimer about the things you will hear about me for sure if you go looking, because my search has been totally polluted by a notorious gang of cyber stalkers. I want to avoid talking about them, so I'm not even going to mention their name right now, and I'm not going to answer any questions about it in the chatter until we're done talking about Transgender 320. This is an upper level college, kind of discussion, serious but informal. That's what I like. Keep it friendly, keep it humorous, but keep it rational and polite. I'm not a free speech zone. Fuck that shit. It's private property. You're free to express whatever opinion you like, but it's got to be framed in a rational and polite manner. No personal insults to other people. No, this is not tolerated here. Take it to some channel that's into that shit, please. I'm not putting them down. It's go for it. But I'm an old hippie. Peace, love, and music. It's all good. If it ain't good for you, leave it alone so you don't ruin it for somebody who it is good for. Don't get bent out of shape about anything unless there's a clear and present danger to public health and safety. If it feels good, if you're feeling froggy, leap. If it feels good, leap into the fire. If it feels bad, leap away. So we want to keep this like real friendly and not no like off the wall. Yeah, see, horseshoe crabs might find themselves beached and dried out in the sun. So like, it's quite possible that I'm not going to go for that. I mean, I've seen people pull off being monkeys properly. Just adhere to the rules. I don't care. It's not about what you are. It's how you behave around me. People either adhere to the golden rule or they don't. And if they don't, it's 2 strikes and you're out. So anyway, I'm from Chicago. I'm a first-generation rainbow hippie, but I stayed in school until I graduated, and then had a real job until it evaporated. Star Wars, life scientists in a death culture, no word. They dried up the money I was feeding off them in the mid-'80s. And I landed in the lap of the Rainbow family and merry pranksters that became the Deadhead. No, you didn't. You didn't. But I see the potential for it. I've seen people pull it off in the past. I'm a marine biologist as my main education. So like, if you're a cool horseshoe crab, happy to have you, man. Because that's where it's at. I don't care if you're rich, poor, old, young, fat, skinny. None of that matters. It's how you act. It's what's your rap and how do you walk your talk. That's I'm a Native American Hebrew Israelite. I call myself an unorthodox Jew. I was one of the last students of Louis Binstock, the Rabbi Emeritus of Temple Shalom in Chicago. That's cool. That's cool. I'm an advocate for LGBTQ, celebrate diversity crowd. It's all good. I draw the line at unprotected sex with multiple partners because of the health hazard. But otherwise, go for it. Well, all sentient creatures of this local universe need to be treated equally and have no more erasure. That everybody has to have their voice, and everybody's individuality needs to be, and the special characteristics of their minority, and their group think. I hear you are a horseshoe crab speaking for all horseshoe crabs of that, all sentient beings that qualify for the characteristics of a horseshoe crab. Dig? I'm human, but I'm also a transgender Jewish hippie that happens to be an anti-Zionist Jewish hippie. So that's a real strange character, which is also why this looks like such a mess. Is I'm a gem and mineral dealer. Let me get the camera up and we'll walk it around a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Did I ever go to Studio 54? No. I wasn't in New York much at all, ever at that age. So my family's from New York. We went there when I was a kid. Last time, though, was 1968, and I didn't get back there until 1989, and only for like a short moment, real short moment, very, like a couple of days. I summered in upstate New York between 1999 and, oh my God, Disco sucks, man. I know the guy that holds the non-copyright to that bumper sticker. Jimmy Hawk, that's his rap. Disco sucks, and mine's disco still sucks. I don't like electronic music if it's all electronic. I love synthesizer when there's live people like Keith Emerson going at it on them. But if it's just all program music, beatbox, you know, my only professional recording opportunity I walked out on because of, like, you know, I thought I was accompanying a singer with a rhythm section. I walked in there and it's a fucking boombox. I wouldn't even tune up to the thing. I was packed and went. You know, when the guy walks in with a boombox, I'm like, no, no. I was just getting my horn out, and the guy pulled out the boombox. I said, "Is this all we're gonna have here?" It's like, no, I can't do this. I just can't do that. At the Pegasus Studio, no less, which is where the Beach Boys and a lot of other people did their albums. I don't like the techno stuff. If it's electronic canned music, no, thank you. It feels bad inside to me. There's something about acoustic music and live people doing it that totally different feeling of the energy. So let me give you a little walk around, show you what's happening here. I play music. I write. I play music. I consider myself a gonzo journalist, and I held the seat of the dean open until I could convince A.J. Weberman to take it. He's the guy that after Hunter died, I convinced. I held the seat. I declared myself the dean for a moment there after Hunter died, and then after a year or so, I managed to convince A.J. Weberman to claim it. So this is me. There's my medicine. Here's my immediate desk in a state of just not having been scrubbed down, but reasonably clean. There's that big cup, and the reason for the big cup is connected to the cough. I have chronic allergies. And my nose is, booger factory. It's like, generates quarts every hour. It's just terrible. And I've had it all my life, and I haven't made it any better by smoking. And this is my main game right here, the Stones. Horn and keyboard over there. Kitchen. Knickknacks and kind of that kind of pop art stuff is over that way. I have a lot of flat art, really nice stuff. That's a photographer, a signed limited edition I found in the garbage. A guy that is currently still showing. This is about 25 years old. Was from 1994 or something. What's that? 20? Is that 25 now? Yeehaw! Yeah, it is. Anyway, this is 1995 piece, or 1994. And when I contacted the guy, he told me that it was a rare photo of his because he doesn't do many landscapes. He's mostly doing portraits. So that's the studio here. Well, I'm not Tom. I don't like being called Tom Ghost, and I'm not sure who you are just by that name. I don't recognize that. I'm Tommy. People who call me Tom are just trying to get me upset. That's my blankets on the floor. That's if it gets cold. I also have a heater under the. I have another blanket down here even. Now, I'm not very neat. I never have been. I'm getting better. I hid behind grunge for most of my life. I hid out behind beard and filth, and having a messy room was a kind of a buffer between me and my father. It made it more difficult for him to come in and beat me. He had to climb over shit, and he didn't like to do that. Oh, that's what's making all that noise. I wonder if that's like, I hope that's not a sign of something bad. The computer seems to be louder than usual. So anyway, I think that's enough about me, and we can go back to, does anybody, let's get on topic here. And we're talking about the transgender condition and what it's like to be transgender in today's world. And anybody who's been transgender for a while wants to tell their story. I have nobody's been around to take the call yet. Nobody's answered any calls I've made, and I stopped doing it because it started getting close to 2 o'clock. Get with me at Gmail, CTOMEEZ here. Let me put it in here. Get with me at Gmail, and we can talk. Well, I don't want to take any phone calls. My phone's screwed up. My main line is screwed up, and my Q-Link phone, my Obama phone, it is. I have to pay for it eventually. They're counting minutes on that one, and I don't want to give out the number in public. So I have, call. We can do VoIP calls at Gmail. I don't trust Discord enough yet for me to go and open it up there with all those maniacs that are around. What race do I identify as? I am born to the clan Kohan for the clan Gershom in the tribe of Leeway, which makes me at least part Semite. But my family went north through the Balkans, and there's a lot of Caucasian in me. So I consider myself a mixed race, Semitic and Caucasian. And I consider myself a two-spirit. I don't know what happened because all the records are gone and nobody's ever come clean with me about it. They called it a double hernia, but I don't believe it. Get inguinal hernia. I identify as transgender. My brain's female and my stuff is male, and that's how I identify. And I kind of identify as heterosexual and bi-curious. I don't know, bi opportunistic maybe. I do it for money, but no, with a cis person, with a cis guy. I've never met any and I would do it, I'd do it for a friend. If I have some cis male friends, I'd do it for free. But if someone gave me the money, sure, I'd do that to fillet somebody, no problem. For $1,000, I'll even do it in public for $1,000. And we have somebody who wants to hang out. Now let me find where's it ringing in? Shit. Fuck. I gotta get my Google up. I don't know where the hell it is. There it is. Oh, and that's a nano mouse. Okay, well, we'll join the call. I don't know if I want it. Hello. Yeah, well, we don't need to.
Hello.
Hello.
And you're pretty mentally insane, aren't you, buddy?
Bye. That's what happens. That's how I play. I'm not gonna engage anybody. Talk to me that way. Goodbye. Block. Next. I'm through reacting to people like this in any other way but to shun them immediately. you know, and I probably have Anonymous pissed off at me too, because they're just like in their earliest incarnation, they were just like script kiddies, doxing people. They just turn their focus on higher level dots than each other. It's like a giant video game where they're all trying to kill each other, and see who can resurrect the most times. I don't know. I really don't know. And then I've never really watched any of this anime, but I'm like seeing some of the things that they're talking about, animal sex, you know, bestiality that they're it's like, and I don't want to go there today either. We're talking about what it is to be transgender and how transgender people cope with living with what we're faced with every day, like callers like I just had. So let me start with what I'm asking for people to use for prerequisite. You know, before you ask any questions, see if they're answered in this document, and before you make any statements, see if you're going to get challenged on the validity of it from reading this document about that particular aspect of transgender. For transgenderism is no longer an acceptable term to the community. Transgender condition is what I was told to use. Transgender is also not a verb. I mean, not a noun. It's an adjective, and it needs a modifier. There's no plural. There's no past tense, although that's debatable in certain contexts. But there's definitely no plural. There's transgender persons, transgender man, transgender woman. You know, I'm not gonna engage the argument between the Truscans and the Terps about transgender men and transgender women. Well, we're not exactly the same. I refuse to get in the middle of that and try to argue in favor of it. I'm a trans feminine person. What's below my belly button's none of anybody's business anyway, unless you want to go to bed with me or you're my doctor. So it's all about your heart. It's not what's below your belt that's important when you're considering gender. It's what's going on in the heart and how that person is behaving. It's not how they're dressing. It's not how they wear their hair. It's not whether they paint their nails or keep them short or keep them long or any of that shit. It's how they're behaving, how they move, how they pose, how they speak, just all of it. It has nothing to do with anything but the way the person's heart and mind are working together to move their body. Okay? I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I'm some kind of strange blend of both. And I've learned to cope with it. And I'm here. And I've survived it. And I'm like just so humbled, honored, overwhelmed by the acceptance and respect I'm getting for living my life, for living authentically, being Tommy Jane, and the diversity of the people I meet, the different gender expression, the different interests, arts. The gender nonconforming people are when we're in happy environments are almost always very, very creative and productive. We're kind of driven to look, I can be me and express myself, and we do. There's so many musicians. I followed Kim Petras since she was just introduced her. I was like, okay, there's a 16-year-old that just went through a full medical transition, and now she's trying to be a pop star, and here she is a pop star. I'm watching Corey Mason and her mother transition together. Pretty amazing story. I haven't ever followed jazz real closely, but she's always been on my radar. I haven't followed anybody that closely because there's so many people for me to be following. I mean, I could just start rattling off names. I think one I should mention is Tammy Ann. Gosh, I forget her last name. She's out there in eastern North Carolina. Her transition diary was one that caught my attention. Another one, what's her name? The Trans Youth Alliance Network or something like that. Oh, shit, what is her name? I forgot. Samantha Logan, I think it was. She did a full transition diary, and she has some lovely tutorials on voice voice training that she did. And she's running Trans Youth Channel, I think it's called. Just so many people that I've just been blessed with being able to network with in Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus, but that's shutting down next month. It's just so many people. I don't want to name too many because I'll feel guilty about leaving people out that have influenced me and helped me along and learned about, help me find myself. And I wouldn't have survived if I did not have what I feel to be the hand of God on my heart and the hand of the Mother on my feet. I wouldn't be here now. Don't thank me for anything. Thank them for not letting me die. I've had a death wish since I was little. It's like I want out of here. I think they had to drag me into the world. I wasn't willing to come out. I was forceps delivery. Fortunately, it didn't damage my head too bad. But I spared myself my first beating because I was already breathing. I was screaming by the time they had me out. So that's a big part of the discussion. Is the pain conditioning, the abuse, to make people conform to the cisnormative standards. And it's all about, and all those standards is like this silly shit, like, men don't wear high heel shoes. No. Oh, because they went nuts over the black guy that showed up in a tuxedo dress. There's a formal top and big full skirt bottoms. And they're all the sexually repressed ultra right wingers are going nuts over that. Black guy in a dress, all shit, and all. And that's not such bullshit. We're naturally born this way. 2% of people are born intersex, which is a catch-all term for something called differences of sexual development, which involve a lot of genetic anomalies, a lot of chemical mistrigger, all sorts of stuff. I don't even like to go into it too deep. Like, just go look it up. DSD, or intersex. There's a whole mess of them. Klinefelter syndrome is one you might be familiar with. There's no name for what I had unless they actually corrected pseudohermaphroditism. Otherwise I'm just intersex to where my brain functions mainly, I call it predominantly female, and I have normal male junk, and a body that's somewhere in between. What else? Maybe there's a question in there I can answer. Oh, whole mess. Parody producer. Well, I was born with a DSD that they corrected. They surgically corrected the DSD. My junk wasn't quite right, and they diddled with it. So yeah, I identify as female. They left me with male parts. It just my brain can't see it properly, and that's what's maddening for me about gender dysphoria, is that my mind's eye is seeing a vagina there, and my body's sending a signal saying, no, that's not what's there. The nerve endings are in a different place. So that's where the madness for myself for gender dysphoria comes from. I have a lot of behavioral health issues over the chemical imbalances and dealing with aggression coming at me. I got like scary. It's scary when you bring out the tomcat. That's very scary when just I don't like going there. This is Tommy. This is me. This is as male as I like to get, as I'm willing to get, right here, and no more. I haven't seen what's the latest. The DSM-5 moved. I'm not. Joseph. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I forgot where I used the word plural. gender dysphoria in the DSM-5 come out 2015, and it changed the descriptor from gender identity disorder to depathologize it a little bit. It still recognizes that there are numerous behavioral health issues that are associated with with gender dysphoria, and most of those are actually outside stresses from rejection and hostility and microaggressions in the community. There's a lot of anxiety and tension that trans people face. It's like they're afraid they'll get outed in some places. They're trying to just be accepted as a man or a woman, and they don't want to get outed, and they're in some places where they could get hurt if they did. No, it's pretty clearly defined. It's defined as a medical issue that has associated behavioral health issues. Go read it. The old one, anything before DSM-5, and there's something else coming out, and there's what's called a standards of care coming out from the WPATH, SOC 8 is coming out soon, and it's all changing pretty rapidly as they recognize what is and what isn't a disorder, and we become more as the cis world becomes more acclimated to our presence. The language is changing very rapidly. But definitely, it's not an illness. It needs to stay not an illness, so that people who don't want to get their genitals or body modifications of any kind want to be able to say, I'm transgender, and be accepted and be able to gain access to what healthcare things they do need as a transgender person, be able to get their licensing and registration as a transgender person. So there's none of that, I fortunately, it's not real bad here, but in some places you can't get your name and gender marker changed, and you're living full time and are well into transition, and you have a confrontation, or you end up in a hospital or something, and your presentation and your documents don't match, that gets real tense. Well, see, Rebecca, that's one of the myths that we will not tolerate here, and I'm going to let you speak again, but I'm going to let you know that people are not mutilating their genitals and dressing up like the opposite sex. The cis-normative standards for grooming and attire are just absolutely invalid, and it's a tool of empire. It's a tool of the patriarchal society, the industrial fascist society that's driving this world to the brink of extinction. So have you got something else you want to say? I mean, I don't want to delete that. Yeah, it's not about mutilating. There's at one point, most people who express as the gender opposite their sex don't need or want any genital surgery. The people who do need or want genital surgery, that's a medical issue, not a mental health issue. And that's why gender dysphoria itself. Hi, Antonio. Let me take this call. Where the hell is it? Okay, where's the incoming call? I don't see it. Where the fuck is the incoming call? This is where it should be. Where's the incoming call? Fuck. Oh, here it is. We'll call her back. I think it's her. Now I know it. The incoming call isn't good. The only ones. Well, she's not answering now. Yeah, I can't stress how invalid the cis-normative stereotypical behavior and grooming. I'm sorry, I've had trouble. There we go. Okay, phone tag, a little phone tag at Google. Where is it? Come on. Oh, here it is. There we go. There we go. Tag. We got it. Hello.
Hey, I have a question. Do you identify as a meth head loser?
No, do you identify as an alt-right, immature imbecile? Goodbye. Goodbye, fuck stain. That's you know, you 2 strikes and you're out here. And Rebecca Salas, that was not you on the phone? Are you really? Do I think I will undergo gender confirmation surgery? No, I know I won't. My deal is with the heavenly host. I'm waiting on the ancient astronauts to bring the old medicine. Okay, well, whoever was just calling was just wanted to know if I identify. Yeah, if I identify as. Okay, let's try this again. Well, that call cut out. Let's see if it's still working. That's the wrong one. Let's close the Outlook. Okay. Now where's that call? I hear it, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah, you get one shot. I got 20 years of getting trolled behind me. I'm not engaging new trolls. You know, getting blocked as fast as you give it to me. This is a friendly space. This is going to be a respectable conversation. I haven't even read. I guess, you know, until somebody calls me, or let me check and see what the questions are. Hello, Antonio. Goodbye, Antonio. I'm not getting into that particular troll. You're going to need to take it somewhere else. But as far as gender confirmation surgery, no, I won't be doing that. And what you see is what you get. I'm on hormones, mostly for my mental health, and they're helping tremendously. And the recent addition of progesterone to my HRT a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, has kind of taken me to the next level of meanness and that femininity in terms of my physique, my being, my inside, outside. My breast definitely improved in volume and nipple size in the last 3 months, and I can feel my fat being in more female places. I've been doing a lot of walking with load back and forth between here and downtown, and I'm going to be doing more and blowing my horn more. I probably should bust it out any minute now if there's not nobody's really joining me. I'll read. I got to read the Transgender 101 from GLAAD, which is gay, lesbian, something, something, something. I don't know. I don't remember what it is. Close that. Get that out of my way. Get a cough drop. Yeah, I have to keep myself real well hydrated and lubricated because my nose is it just doesn't handle dust and smoke real well. And it's just oh God, I'm not looking forward. We're getting to hard booger season. Wildflower pollen time coming up soon. Yeah. Nose is pretty good today. Didn't have needed to blast anything to clear it. Now this is what GLAAD to learn. This is what GLAAD says about what does transgender mean. Transgender is a term used to describe people whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. There's an argument over. I'm going to be stopping a lot because this is an obsolete article. I used it on one of my groups and just ate it from some people who were healthcare providers. They were all over it. So no, this is all shit. Assigned at birth, more like observed. They observed the vagina and called it a female. They observed the penis and called it a male. They observed something else and they didn't know what to do. And a lot of times they carved on it. Or they just took a guess, best guess. And sometimes it was right and sometimes it was wrong. That's those DSDs. 2% of the population is born with some kind of DSD. About half of those people are born with gender dysphoria. And maybe, it's hard to say, it's only about 20% of people that are transgender are getting the surgery. But it's hard to determine. I don't think they've ever done a properly distinct enough study on this. It's hard to determine what portion of the people that are not getting the surgery don't want it, and how many can't get it. Is where that's at. I don't even want to speculate. But I just know that only about 20% are getting what we call a complete medical transition. I would be partial medical transition and full social transition. There's a difference between medical and social transition, and this is an important part of the controversy over the kids. Is that these kids are being allowed to socially transition very, very young. Jazz Jennings, as soon as she opened her mouth, she's insisting she's a girl, and they went for it. I guess Corey Mason had come out a lot later, but she wasn't, and I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for them because that's a very public case and it's still open. Jazz had her getting rid of the penis party and she's all done that and she's all got her thing going, but I don't want to comment on Corey and her mother because that's just way too high profile. But where was I going with this? Oh, parents transing the kids and giving the kids the hormones and shit when they may detransition and yada 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 and cutting off perfectly good reproductive organs. Well, a person should not be forced to reproduce as part of their social acceptance. For one thing, for another, I don't know what's the other. Well, yeah, they're cutting off perfectly good. No, that's not what's happening. What's happening is the kids are saying, and this is it's the 3 C's here. It's consistent. Oh no, it's consistent, incessant. It's CIP. Consistent, insistent, and persistent. That is the determination of whether they will even initiate any sort of medical transition at all. consistent, insistent, and persistent. The actual detransition rate of people who get to the point where they're going to do things to their reproductive organs that are irreversible, there's already come to a conclusion, and they used to force them to get like legal shit done, psychiatrists sign letters and stuff, which is another big point of conflict, is over the old gatekeeping versus informed consent. But by the time they get around to doing anything in the medical transition that's irreversible, there's full agreement between the doctors and the patient that this is going to be what's in their best interest. And there's an incredibly high success rate. It's almost unheard of that anybody's like dissatisfied with the results of HRT. There's just almost like 100% satisfaction rate. And the few people that stop doing it do it for health reasons, because it's something else in their health. Their health profile is not able to take the hormones, or they do it because of social pressure forcing them to go back to expressing in the mode of their in the gender role of their assigned sex. What else? Yeah, that's total myth. So moving along, gender identity is a person's internal personal sense of being a man or a woman, or boy or girl. For some people, their gender identity does not fit neatly into these two choices. Let that sink in a little bit. Some people don't feel like they're male or female. Some people feel like they could be either or. Some people feel like they're neither. I'm not sure what to say about myself besides what I do. It's like, yeah, I got male junk and I have female feelings. And don't bring the male junk into my brain, because it's no fun. But it's really, Tom's frightening. If you're threatening my safety, Tom is frightening, and will break things to get away from you. People in the transgender community may describe themselves using one or more of a wide variety of terms, including but not limited to transgender, transsexual, and non-binary. Always use the term used by the person. Same with their names. Don't dead name people. Same with their pronouns. Now, I'm a moderate on this. This is another big point of contention, is the trans-Taliban and trans-fascism. It's noble to demand equal rights. That's a noble thing to do. But to demand special treatment is being an asshole. And some trans people are being assholes about getting misgendered and refuse to accept the fact that, especially when they don't pass well. I mean, I can see people that got passing privilege getting all bent out of shape when somebody's intentionally misgendering them when it's obvious that they're not. I like to like stick my wrist up to their nose and say, do I smell like I want you to call me bro? Yeah, I haven't done that too many times, but that's my comeback to some dude getting stupid like that. Whoa, what, bro? He said, no, I'm not a bro. And today, thank God, I live in Tucson, and it just pretty much depends on what angle you get me at and what your focus is on my face, or your focus on my heart. No, my heart and face here. It just depends on what angle, whether you see me as male or female, because I'm pretty like intersex, bigender, two-spirit is what the Native Americans call me. It's Wingte in Lakota, and Natakla in Navajo. So people trying to change a person's gender identity is no more successful than trying to change a person's sexual orientation. It doesn't work. So most transgender people seek to bring their bodies into alignment with their gender identity. This is called transition. Well, see, this is another one that I've already covered some of those points, is that there's social transition, there's medical transition, and I wouldn't want to, 20% are doing the medical transition completely. And of the people that aren't, I don't want to speculate on how many want it and can't do it versus those that don't want it at all. I am not a candidate at all. I don't want it. I'm waiting on the ancient medicine that could do it right. Stem cells, just inject me with something, and my body will just convert it to the right shape. That's what my dream says. Is that's how I will be healed. It's that kind of a, stem cells or radiation or something. That's what my dream has been. Is how I'll be healed. Nobody's cutting my shit up. I haven't even pierced my ears, and I haven't cut my hair. And how many? It's 1982 to. I pretty much, when I hit the streets, when my career tanked the first time in 1982, is when I made my commitment to the Holy Spirit to do a little suffering for righteousness' sake, and just, okay, well, this is what you want me to do, Lord. I'll do my best to spread the word. And I feel like I've been real well trained, and from so many wonderful teachers along the road. I was blessed with being Dr. Binstock's, one of Dr. Binstock's last students. Boy, his Parkinson's, he didn't have any more years left in him after I left. And just such a beautiful, brilliant man, brilliant orator. And he was an omnist, where we're all one, it's all from one root, that we're scattered because of Babel and punishment for reaching to heaven when, with the arrogance and greed of man. And it was punishment that we were scattered and had to evolve our own. On our own, we're all scattered and had to relearn things. And everybody, what's true and enduring, especially that golden rule, Shema. That's where it is, right there. That's the core. That's the seed. That's the essence of it all. And here we are. So okay. And let's get back to the Trans 101. As part of the transition process, many transgender people are prescribed hormones by their doctors to change their bodies. Some undergo surgery as well, but not all transgender people can or will take those steps. And it's important to know what being transgender is not dependent on medical procedures. I already touched on this. Transgender is an adjective and should never be used as a noun. I don't know about this transing. Becoming transgender, I don't know that you can become transgender. You're born transgender. You can, but then everybody's born transgender to a certain degree. Nobody's completely masculine or feminine. There's no 100% man or woman. I mean, that's not the way it works. Everybody has one or the other. If they don't have a DSD, everybody has either sperm or eggs for gametes. That's the binary. But when it comes to masculinity and femininity, those manifest on a spectrum, a sliding scale that's not one or the other. And some people just are better suited physically and psychologically for the transgender role. And this is where you're seeing this trans trending that people are talking about. The questioning people are saying, well, am I going to feel better about being seen as a woman or a man? Lots of people are questioning that right now. I never did. was like, well, fuck, I gotta hide until it's safe to do this. Was pretty much my journey was down that road, and about I might as well go there. So I'm not looking at anything. You know, anybody's asking me anything right now, I'm not looking at it, so I don't know what it is. In 1985, I think it's 1985 or early 1986. I don't know. It was. I don't think it was rainy season at the time. I was living in a van that was permanently parked on a side street in Venice Beach, near Main Street, just a little alley street off of Main Street between Rose and Sunset. And the original Real Things Hippie Haven was an apartment near Sunset, Maine, that was owned by a friend of mine. And they were remodeling the Cadillac Hotel at Dudley and Oceanfront Walk. And it was wide open, and they left the water on. So I helped myself to the use of a bathroom and got my girl on, and I thought I looked real good. I thought I passed real well. But there's always telltales, you know. I mean, I still had a decent head of hair then. But then again, you know, for someone like me, if I wanted to like paint up and really, you know, girl up my attire, most people wouldn't notice that I'm trans. And the people that do notice that people are trans and make anything of it are generally of two types. The totally anti-LGBT crowd that are out hunting us, and queers, transphobic, homosexual men and women are the ones who are challenging the rest of us over everything, not just, you know, the internal trans on trans stuff between the Trustcoms and the non-ops. But these people are like, oh, you're just totally mentally ill. It's all no, men. They're not real men. They're not real women. That whole line of reasoning is coming out from the LGBT community. And that's like some of the most serious threat to solidarity and to our achieving, what's the name of the Equality Act that they're trying to get passed this year? You know, it's federal measure that we're trying to get through that's going to level the playing field for everybody. We need to do that. We need to. That's the other thing that's the mega thread that Paris started. I want to get to, but I haven't really seen anybody around yet that might want to do that. So let me see how much more of this there is, because most people know this stuff by now. There isn't much left. Let me just run through it real quick. Most people know this stuff by now. Yeah, so transgender is an adjective and should never be used as a noun. For example, rather than saying Max is a transgender, say Max is a transgender person, or Max is a transgender man. You don't say Max is transgendered or a transgender. How is sexual orientation different from gender identity? They're two separate things completely. One is what how you like to you know, what kind of partner you like to have, and the other is what kind of person you like to be. And you know, just because you're transgender doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be heterosexual or homosexual. Could be anything. and then they've added all these new ones. But pretty much there's like in my viewers, easiest for me to handle is hetero, homo, bi, and asexual. I don't want to get into like a sappy sexual, or well, I probably should, because when I think about myself, that's what I seem to be. Is I don't get aroused until somebody's wanting to love me. I don't just like see somebody and want to fuck it. I never was like that. I think that's called demisexual or sapisexual. One or the other, I forget. And I don't. I have a penis that wants to do it the way what penises are made for, and I don't see myself having sex with somebody who has a penis. Although somebody asked me about sex with a transgender person, and I already have long ago. Did have an encounter with a transgender woman. She's hermaphrodite actually, and I can see that as as a casual having fun. It's the way my friend describes it. She's in a poly relationship and in the poly community, and into the softcore, really super softcore BDSM, but has been exposed to the big time hardship too. But she's like fruity nerds is what my friend and her friends are, the fruity nerds. Really sweet people, and that it does not. It's a Punnett square. You know how Punnett square. That's you want to understand. It's an array. It's not one or the other. It's an array. It's an integration of an array. Is what sex and gender are. That's why it's on a spectrum. And like I said earlier, I draw the line at unprotected anal, not just anal, but just unprotected sex. Anal's just especially bad because of the potential damage to the colon and all the infections that are associated with that. But any kind of sex is going to be a vector. Any kind of unprotected sex with multiple partners is going to be a vector for STDs. And I'm not being homophobic. I'm not supporting pedophilia or bestiality or any of that other happy horseshit that people are trying to lay on me. I'm going by principles of organizations, of respected organizations. Here's GLAD we're reading, and I'm here in Tucson, volunteering with Southern Arizona AIDS Foundation, participating some with the Southern Arizona Gender Alliance, and I'm connected to the I'm participating in the International Transgender Health and hostessing Transgender Caucus and Transgender Science and Facebook. And I just got, and that's the topic here is I just got my nose in the UK trans wars by responding to Paris Lee's and having somebody respond to me who's even got more followers than either one of us. So it's a featured thread right now at Twitter. I probably should go over to that because this is all stuff. Simply put, well, I guess I could still fuck it. People, you read it yourselves. This is an old statement that in 2015 I think it was when Caitlyn Jenner did her tabloid transition. There was a survey done that discovered that only 16% of people in America responding had ever even met a transgender person live. And a huge number had never heard, knew nothing about, had no exposure through media or anything. You had no idea what being transgender was all about. And that's changed. And I think it was HRC. Is that what they call it? No. HRW is the ones watching. The HRC, yeah. Isn't that where, what's her name? Sarah McBride is connected to? The one with the equal sign in blue and gold. Those guys did a survey that about acceptance and understanding of transgender people, found out really interesting thing that people respond best, learn more from direct contact. People like Tommy Clinton going around doing seminars for healthcare providing agencies, going to a hospital and teach their staff about transgender sensitivity. And that's the most effective than, just like propagandizing or sending mailings and shit like that. It's like, meet a transgender person, listen to our stories, and understand that we're no different than anybody else in terms of our own male or female desires. We just have like the opposite sex gene, but from your heart, our hearts. Don't think about. Don't. See, we don't need to learn to separate sex from gender, because there's a significant number of people who are born with the opposite sex of their gender. And this is something that we need to learn how to embrace and accept as for what it is, and allow transgender people to live their lives, and not stigmatize them, not put impediments, not discriminate against them in housing or employment or even access to entertainment venues. Transgender people get thrown out of places. Says, "Oh no, we can't have any trans here." That's what started. That's what started the LGBT equality movement in the first place. It was Compton's cafeteria. In 1966, there were laws all over the country that made it illegal to be cross-dressing, and sodomy laws and shit. Some of them still in place. And because of that, there was a lot of transphobia in the gay community, because the presence of a transgender person in a gay club gave the cops excuse to raid it. So the trans people ended up getting, they could only congregate at the Compton's cafeteria, which was, I guess, non-alcoholic. It was food. And there were constantly fights there between the trans people and the transphobic gays. And one night, cops came to break up the fight, and the fight turned on the cops. And that was the Compton cafeteria riot in 1966. And a similar thing was what the Stonewall riot was better known. In 1969 was when Marsha Johnson and Sylvia Rivera threw their shot glasses at the cops. There was a trans man that did it too, and that was the Stonewall riot. Hopefully we don't have, it's just, there's so much, the pride, how many years has pride been going on? And there's so much fragmentation in that, because there's so much lateral hostility between the different letters, and I'll say it again, it's like, demanding equal rights is noble, but demanding special treatment is being an asshole. And that's what happens, is like the L wants something on, it took them years to decide which was going to come first, L or the G. Excuse me. Some of them still put the G before the L, or L before the G. I don't know which is it, LGBT. I know some of them will still do a GLBT. And then there's this whole big thing about whether or not the T should drop out or be kicked out, and then binary erasure. That's a big one too. It's like, okay, well, we're bi, and nobody loves us. Everybody hates us. And it's just across the spectrum. It's all self-loathing, a denial of self-loathing projected out on others, and getting a boost, a self-esteem boost from putting somebody else down. All it is, and it's just terribly, terribly destructive to the community. Worse than any threat from a bunch of religious fanatics. Much worse. Oh, incoming video. Where is it? Come on. Where is it? It disappeared. Yeah. Okay, Sammy. Let's try this. No, what's that? What happened? I don't see anybody.
Hey, what was it like when you first gave a young boy a blowjob?
I've never given a young boy a blowjob. Goodbye. That's the best you're going to get out of me, people who make those kind of calls. You get one chance to ask one question, and I may not even give you that much of an answer. But I have never had oral sex with somebody with penis, ever. The hermaphrodite insisted, because she was giving me oral sex without charging me for it, that I at least masturbate her, which I did. I've never had sex with a anybody young. And I've never had sex with actual fornicate with any minor either, ever. Or any animal, ever. So I'm not even gonna discuss that with people trying to defend myself from it or anything like that. Okay, we have prime time calling. Who's this? No. No, sorry. Ain't gonna do it. You're not getting no cameras from me until I know we're safe. I just block these people. Anybody, I just block. Just block. If I don't like what you did, no thanks, goodbye, block. Okay, let's see who's here. Van. I don't know what you're talking about with a van. Oh, the van I was living in? It was a white Dodge window van, about 1967. And there was nothing. It was just white. You had it, I didn't. I had a motorhome that I had painted bright colors. I didn't, and had a lot of stickers and shit all over it. Is sex a social construct? Sexual behavior is. Sex itself, the gametes, the genetics of sex and all that. That's not a social construct. But anything that happens after the eggs fertilize, and anything happens after birth, is going to be a combination of the genetic potential with the life experience added on. To Barbara, I don't know what you're talking about. Caitlin putting a little Shapiro boy in his place. And I think she's got it. If you're talking, yeah, I think she's got a good heart, but she's some of her values are a little not real righteous, I don't think. And she's not real bright. She makes a lot. She does lots of faux pas. She always has been. I used to joke. I still will too. Is that when she was Bruce, she'd step on her dick all the time. She was after the Olympics. Oh well, yeah, good for her. Because that's where I'm not going to take this call right now. I want to engage Barbara here. Good for her. Because I've been standing up for her as being authentic, and she can take it, and then I give it to her. She's never responded to me. But I talk about how I refuse to do take the Bruce Jenner path. It's the way I describe it. It's like, a lot of trans women will say, okay, well, I'm going to be the best fucking man I possibly can. And then years down the road, it's like, Well, okay, well, I've been fucking miserable all my life. I got to do something about this. I'm not taking a call right now. No calls right now. No, unless I know you. Nah. Let's see, who is it? Oh, MAGA. No, I'm gonna just fucking block that. No, I'm not interested. I won't even take it from someone like that. You guys can fuck yourselves. Well, this is not a debate. This is not a debate. I'm not going to politics, nothing. And you're gonna call me and ask me questions about my personal sex life. Fuck you. Anything you know about my personal sex life is live. It was told to you by someone else. So I'm not making those kind of calls at all. So anyway, yeah, I heard about that, and I always, to get back to what I was trying to say before a person's ringing in on me, was that like I call it the Bruce Jenner path, that I'm going to be the best man I possibly can, and go win the fucking decathlon, and then go be a Hollywood star, and then just like not be happy with myself, and she was. And that, you hear what I did? I misgendered her. And now she's okay with dead naming her because she just realized she can't walk away from her past. She's too well known as Bruce. But you could dead name her while respecting her this way. And you hear I said he, and then nope, she. That you'll hear that with people if you're transgender in early stages of transition, looking how to socialize yourself. That's a big marker for people that are transgendering. You got to understand, well, they don't see you automatically see you as female. They got to convince themselves that this is a female person. So there's that moment of recognition that they have to short circuit between their eyes and their lips and how they refer to you. Now, people that are sincere, wanting to be your friend, wanting to be your ally, are going to correct themselves, start self-correcting. They're just, and you're going to feel the sincerity of them. Okay, well, let's see what this one is. Fuck. Bruce Jenner. No, I'm not joining that call. Bye. Yeah, no, I'm not playing with trolls. I'm blocking trolls. You guys are going to have to be a little more creative in what you name your trolls, because I'm just not any ultra-right winger. Anybody who's obviously an ultra-right winger, I'm not interested in your opinion. There's just too much irrational behavior over there, and too much lies. Too much Dunning-Kruger effect. And I'm not gonna mud wrestle with pigs today. You're either cool or you're gone. This is not a free speech zone, and I'm not. You're not gonna bait me. So anyway, getting back to Caitlin, and some of the different options that transgender people take, when they're faced with not being able to transition for one reason or another. My position was, no, I am what I say I am, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. And because I never really tried to, after I was, I shut up quick because I didn't want to get beat around more than I already was. And so I saved myself a lot of the heartache by not I'm just okay, I'll play along. And that saved me a lot of trauma that my siblings experienced, especially in my generation, the ones that couldn't or wouldn't. They couldn't, they just didn't have it to be what was expected of them because of their genitals, or they refused to and insisted, no, I'm queer, fuck you. It's a difficult role to hold. And that's one thing that Paris was talking about. You should probably go and this is a good point to start reading that thread, because this is what now see. Let's see where it starts. I think what happened was this Bella Witch, when she joined it, that triggered the thread reader ad. Yes. Yeah, this is her take on it. This is just hers. And this, and she gets away from that's not that. This is her. She come into the conversation that Paris and I were having. Antonio Stanley. I think he's somebody. I think he's somebody that has talked to me honestly, or is he? Oh no, this is Frank Herbert. No, this is one of the Fred Herbert trolls.
This is Tommy Watson calling.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's a troll. I should report that one. We can't do it, but we can block it. Let's see if he's in the chat too. Yeah, he was. Okay. Yeah, the thread that she's got linked here isn't. She just kind of jumped into. She jumped in as a response. The actual thread starts here with Paris. Women are oppressed on the basis of biology. That is not an argument for excluding trans women from anything. Tell me, do you think when I'm walking down the street alone, I'm safer because I don't have ovaries? Do you think it makes me less likely to be attacked? Are you serious? Please do send me your thoughts on how trans women aren't treated like shit because of their bodies, though. I'm listening. Amazing that some people don't realize that trans women worry about all the things every other woman worries about, but with the added fear of what if they find out I'm trans and kill me for good measure. The lack of compassion for people with similar experiences is utterly baffling. That's a real important point there, is that just zero empathy in the world. Everybody's me. Everybody's all egocentric, rather than no. There's altruism and egalitarianism are dead in the world today. I've been harassed. Thank God I haven't been. You know, this is where I am. You know, I'm standing like in front of all of you. Fuck, I got your back. I'm on the front line. I've been harassed, verbally abused, and physically attacked purely for being a woman several times, in addition to experiencing those things purely for being trans. I just can't believe some people don't seem to realize this and are only capable of seeing trans people as a problem. And here's Belowicz's first remark was institutionalized ignorance. And my first remark to that was modern society rewards stupidity. We have systematic discrimination exacerbated by cisnormative white privilege white cisgender people don't realize they have, meeting a sort of reverse racism from frustrated people of color and transgender people of all races. And this is where Bella declared a threat. It was at that point, responding to me. Largest human problem, and by that I mean humanity itself, not what humanity has inflicted on the earth, is the complete unwillingness to focus on all of the things that make us similar. Those things, common to all humanity, are far more numerous than our differences. And this is where I got, Twitter doesn't expand real easily. There it is. Which, while all are important, need to be recognized, identified, and respected, are all minor grains on the vast surface of commonality we have as people. Color, race, culture, religion, intolerance, rigid thinking, we are all learned, and in many ways are imposed by the various cultures we live in. Absolutely, human nature is to avoid conflict, ease on things, ease in and ease out. That it's about adapt or die. It's mutate or die, motherfucker. When the mother goes through a major change, which it does, this is a big molten rock spinning around in outer space around another big molten rock that's spinning around a bunch of more big molten rocks, and it's been spinning around for eons and eons. And the Earth doesn't. One thing that is consistent about our knowledge of the planet is that climate change is the norm. What's happening right now is that combustion energy capture technologies and the extraction processes are accelerating the. Yeah, sorry, I'm not. This is not a free speech zone. I'm not even going to answer the fucking question. You call me with it from an account called Meth Head Freak. I'm not interested. Totally not interested. And I'm just going to block it. I'm not going to answer them. I'm not even going to break stride for another one. Where was I? Yeah, they're just trying to intrude. Oh, where was I? Okay, I think this is one spot where I missed something because I said something about rewarding stupidity, stigmatizing intelligence. Oh, here it is. Institutionalized ignorance. Modern society rewards stupidity. Oh, I said that one. Largest human problem. That's where it started. It's all twisted up because she started her own thread off of Paris. So the comment stack is a little weird. Color, race. Okay, I read that. Color, race, culture, religion, intolerance, all learned. Rewarding stupidity. Oh, this was her answer to my statement. Rewarding stupidity in some cases is part of this. Propaganda, advertising are all laden with psychological markers in order to influence people in whatever direction, however subtle. And I say it has resulted in a mass psychosis that was described as the Dunning-Kruger effect, a sort of self-induced mental retardation resulting from believing lies and acting on them. Raging flame wars on the social nets are from the cognitive dissonance raised arguing with each other. The right wing, the people who believe my dead partner used to like to say the Democrats slide to the left and the Republicans slide to the right while the banker gangs are playing both ends from the middle. And that's just the whole political argument today is a bunch of lying liars lying to each other from two completely different, two opposing lies, and both of them lying. Okay, so that's that thread up to now. Let's see if there's anything added to it. Oh, here's, Paris has just been on it for a couple of days. Here's another thread of hers. That was the Belowitz just like took her own thread off of something Paris said. Here's another one. You're not going. Now this is pretty much where I came into it. It's like she mixed it up with a Suzanne Evans on a program called Nighttime or News Time or something like that. And then the woman like kind of snarked on her for not being ladylike. and Paris has been just like going right back. She's been giving it right back, but she's so she's got the one of her followers, one of her admirers called it sass, which is good, kind of equivalent to American moxie. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be a nice person until you like go over the edge, and I'm still gonna try and maintain some grace and dignity, but I'm not gonna be soft about it. No, I'm a classy lady that says fuck a lot. So this is from March 1st. This was yesterday's. You're not going to discriminate against trans people. You can try every trick in the book, but it won't stand. We're not going to go away. We're not going to shut up, and we're not going back to how things were. We're going to live in a society that respects and celebrates everyone. So I asked her, because I had gotten scolded a little bit for jumping into this without knowing why it was going on, with just some general tone policing. And it's I think my take on the militant trans Taliban, the militant TRAs, trans rights activists. But that's the trans Taliban. It's the militant ones, the ultra left wingers, totally like way out there, way reactionary, and just assholes demanding special treatment and getting all bent out of shape when people misgender them without being patient at all. It's like, all I got to do is say, hey, look, I'm not a guy. And most of the times I don't have to explain. No, it's like, oh, okay. And they just, it clicks for them that this is a female person. And they don't, in Tucson, they're conditioned, they're conditioned to understand that sometimes people have penises and are female. And sometimes people have vaginas and are male. There's whole packs of drag kings and drag queens will just like walk into a sports bar and nobody makes anything of it at all in this town. It's wonderful. Me or none of my friends are not even in the news. Has there anything bad enough to make the news in Tucson since I've been here? So I asked her, is there anybody in particular this is for, or is it aimed at the general population of trans folks? And she said, I'm reminding myself more than anything, and anyone else who's feeling overwhelmed by the sheer number of people coming forward to express their ignorance and prejudice. I'm feeling inspired despite relentless attacks and propaganda, and wanted to spread it before the moment passes. So I told us, just keep that chin up and a big grin on your puss. We're winning where it counts, on our courage, grace, and good humor. And it's not confrontational. We have legitimate, valid, authenticating knowledge in scientific knowledge supports our social demands. That there's absolutely, that we are, and there's been some court cases too, where in the ruling, the judge acknowledged that this is a minority that a well-defined minority that is totally like protected under the Constitution because of its minority, because the characters of the minority are protected. I have a I'm not taking a call from Donald Trump. No, I'm not interested. No, I'm just blocking assholes. You're just a bunch of immature trolls. Just kids. Shit. Okay, what do we got going on here? Definitely more trees, and they're doing it on buildings now in a lot of places. I don't worry about a gun. I don't need a gun. I don't get attacked like that in person ever. I mean, it's just those are recently. Well, that's all a virtual reality. That's these people live in a video game world. None of my most committed opponents online have the courage to face me in the real world. They manipulate people. They've managed to manipulate two people into coming after me in the real world. I need a little bit of nicotine and take a break. I've been at this for an hour and a half, and I haven't been up from my desk in the whole time. But yeah, I'm taking it from everywhere because I'm a transgender, anti-Zionist, Jewish hippie. So and you heard what Paris is talking about. Said okay, so she's getting it for being female and transgender. And I get it for being Jewish and anti-Zionist. That's two different directions. I get discriminated against, get people angry at me just for what I am. All righty. So, not a lot of people here, which is probably good. I play to a small room, it's better anyway. If there's no buddy that has any, oh, this is Danny Martin. What's his, oh, look at this. Here's somebody that's trying to solicit. Don't, if anybody, don't fish. If anybody comes in with a direct threat like that, make sure I see it before you delete it. Danny Martin, is there anything you'd like to say? Unhide this motherfucker. Come on, Danny Martin. You can talk to me. I'm gonna, if there, you know, I've said everything I wanted to say about Transgender 320. Hello, what do you have to say? You're okay. Happy day, man. I'll see you later. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this, but you know, dude, you're soliciting somebody to blow up my home. What the fuck is on your mind? If you actually have one. What am I looking for here? Yeah. Why do you want to blow up my home? And what makes you think that you have some authority to do that? You know, what's your reasoning? I don't know who you are, and you don't know me. You've probably been told things about me, and if you're reacting to me, you're just a madman. Uh, uh, we'll deal with that. Anyway, let's see if did I catch AIDS from Magic Johnson? No. Trannies get the noose. I see. Hang this tranny in the tree. Hey guys, come on, no bully, no beat. No, they don't do that. No, let them go. Let them show their asses. Let them show their asses. This is the alt-right. These are people that are under 30 years old. Many of them have college diplomas and no lives. Yeah, let them show their asses, please. But don't respond to them. Let me just ignore them. Let me play them because this is not protected speech. That's totally not protected speech. See, here's an idiot coming in here deliberately. Do I want to win the 2020 election? No, thank you. I do not want that job. Oh, they don't. Thank you, Tank Spank. Thank you. No, I'm standing up with my brothers and sisters. There's a lot of them. Well, no, Danny Martin, you don't understand. I'm going into the federal courtroom, and there's going to be a RICO investigation on you people. Furries. What's UWU? It's it's like anybody else. I judge everybody on their behavior. What's their rap, and how well do they walk their talk? That's my whole criteria. How does your vibe make my heart feel? That's all I go by. How you're dressed means nothing to me. Well, that's okay if they raid me. No, I actually here's what I was up Bernie's ass this morning a little bit. I'm an independent. I'm totally independent. I don't support any political party. I don't support any border. God did not create this. God did not draw lines on the ground, and the way the governments are set up is not the way that God ordained us to govern ourselves in the writings of my ancestors. And that's what my head is about Bernie and all the rest of them. Let me get you my tweets, or go look at my Twitter profile. A lot of the answers to the questions that you're asking are right there. I have my pinned post is a petition that I started. Yeah, see, they want to swat me. But if you swat me, you're going to get in big trouble because the cops know that I've been threatened to get swatted. And, to shame somebody for being toothless, that's like shaming a furry. And I'm no meth head. I have to take, hi, Daddy, fuck off. You know what, Daddy? You're getting hidden because you're an asshole. And you know what else? The rest of you are assholes. You're getting hidden, all of you. I'm through talking to you. Who's here that's still cool? That didn't get deterred. Well, that's that's a figure of speech about beating up Bernie's ass. That's like this social network commentary. This real time processing of everything that I see on well, until I think otherwise. You last cool kid on the street, okay, on the internet. Yeah, well, guess what, Peter Enos, bye. See, like all you people that think I fuck dogs, you're probably dog fuckers in your fantasies. I have no none of those kinds of lusts. So who's next? I'm in a juicy story. No, I'm looking for a juicy tweet. That's what I'm looking for. Where's my tweets? That's notifications. I want tweets. Yeah, I guess. Oh, I know what it was. Bernie had a campaign rally in New York City, and I went off on that a little bit. Here's the tweet. It was a Twitter moment. Senator Bernie Sanders is kicking off his presidential campaign at Brooklyn College, and my tweet was, am I the only one put off by all the demo clowns piling in the clown car, rolling around the country, kicking off the clown car demolition derby 2020 for the prize of bozo and cheap, when they ought to be tending to business in DC and their home districts? Dare I tag it, burn Bernie's bums? That's what I meant by being up Bernie's ass today. Actually, more Bernie bum's ass. Well, or Kamala Harris is your next president. She's a Zionist. Or was it Nikki? No, what's her name? Yeah, Kamala Harris. That's the one that was like, I can't believe that she just, it's like Israel firster. Kamala Harris is going to be your first woman president. Because she's an Israel firster. In 2024, one of the freshman congresswomen has a real good chance. Any of them. Well, it's not really something I want to talk about openly here. That's like TMI kind of thing. I'm trying to run a family channel, and there are just some people that can't handle that. You can try and talk to me at somewhere else if you want to talk about that, but I really don't, and I don't have a feminine penis. It's just standard issue penis. Not real big, not real small. Proper, I mean, they did a good job on it. Whatever they did right, but they didn't do it right for my brain. Is what I am. Bernie will bend the knee again. Kanye 2020. We need a Republican black guy in the office, plus his wife is hot. Okay. So what's Kanye's qualifications? Notes of lavender. I like lavender. That's my favorite Dr. Bronner flavor is lavender. I use lavender oil too. Lavender oil is very good for dealing with tension and anxiety and like just the bad energy of like aggressive people in your face. Good snort of lavender oil help that. Mia Khalifa. I really didn't want to get too political. Billy Harrington. I don't even know who these. I've never even heard of these people. Where are they performing artists? And I haven't had TV in 15 years, and don't keep up at all. There's just so many names going by all the time. I don't even look at the entertainment news. I can't even open that shit. I don't look at the sports page neither. No. Certain things you can't ignore totally, like the Super Bowl and the World Series and shit. But otherwise, I do pretty well at staying away from the sports. Unless there's a big scandal, which I think there is right now. I think there was a new scandal. So let me see what's going on in my networks. I closed down the Discord because it was making too much noise, and they have me shadow banned at Twitter, so it's pretty quiet. When they don't have me shadow banned, I get I get hundreds of notifications in just a few hours, but shadow ban, I might only get a few notifications every day. Oh well, here's Bella again. She's so right on. Let's see what she was. Every single trans person is unique, special, beautiful, and loved. There is a massive base of support for you all. Never feel like you're all alone, and never listen to people who tell you that different isn't normal. Normal. Insisting that you're normal is mentally ill, especially in an abnormal society. I'll give that a read before the Aldous Huxley. I'll give that a read tonight. That's not even tonight yet. I really don't want to be doing this for too much. It's Saturday, and I need to be out the door by 8:15 or so to get the last bus. I haven't eaten nothing today yet. And I'm living on cigarettes and weed today so far. Cigarettes, weed, water, and cough drops. And As you can hear, I'm a little bit, I don't want to call it overamped, and it's definitely not Zooming, but I'm charged. I'm in full charge right now. I've been sleeping well, at least 4 hours at a time. And sometimes I get a second sleep period, and sometimes I don't. I don't think I would even want one. I might want to lay down for a little while, because when I've been talking too much and reading too much, I'll get a little bit of a pressure headache. So Bella goes on. And love yourself, and people will naturally fall in love with you. Happiness is infectious. Infection. She said infections. It should be a global pandemic. Start with loving yourself, then irradiate all the wonder, uniqueness, and beauty that is you to everyone you meet. If people still refuse to accept you or see you, then they are just not worth your time, your voice, or your thoughts. They're not worth the effort of bringing yourself down just to try and placate them. You can just ignore and walk on by. You don't owe anyone anything. Is what do you do with your hands? What makes humans humans? How do you walk your talk? What do you do with your hands? Do you build up or tear down? There's a time for both. My grandfather and his brother-in-law were architects and engineers. And, to build something in Chicago, you usually had to tear what was there down first. That's what Ecclesiastes, the book of Ecclesiastes, turn. Everything, there's a season. There's a time for the building up, and there's a time to tear down. There's no time for war. War is only profiting the people that manufacture the weapons, and the people that convince each other, to convince the masses to go commit mass murder against each other, for the profit that people selling to the weapons and to the taxpayers paying for it of the opposing parties. So and the same people are profiting from it at the top. So here you got the tip to the top of the pyramid, and then people at the bottom killing each other and paying for it. I think Stefan Molyneux, the goofy guy, the goofy philosopher in Canada, I think did something about how people just like totally contribute to their own enslavement. We allow it. This was what Eleanor Roosevelt was saying. It's like, you cannot be made to feel inferior without your consent. And this is what Bella just said. This is what it's what Paris said yesterday. It's what Bella just said. And, well, she said it yesterday too, I guess, later. And this is the first I've seen it. It's like, What somebody else thinks of you is none of your business, or especially if it's something that they think about. Yeah, see, you people can come in and make asses of yourself. I haven't had DMT in 30 some odd years. And, you know, all of you, you know, people into pedophilia, bestiality, and blaming everybody else for your perversions, fuck you. Keep it on your own channels. I've had DMT, and it was it's not something I do. It's something I avoid. I don't want anything to do with it. Why are they doing this? Because I'm a public figure who is opposed to all sorts of things that these people are trained to believe, that they have to hate the person that's opposed to them, and they've latched onto some things about my past that they want to shame me for in the future, that they've twisted beyond any kind of resemblance to what really happened. And that's what's going on here. And I'm not gonna describe the past incidents. I'm just declaring that it's libel to make the accusations against me that they are making. And I'm saying that it's criminal the way it's being spread around the internet by 3 registered organizations. So that's what's going on here with those people. And I really, I'm just, you know, call me if you like, but you're going to have to be slicker than coming straight at me, because I'm just saying no and hang up if I say anything at all. If I don't like the looks of your handle, I'm not going to answer the phone. Well, that's a problem. The FBI has been called on it numerous times, and not just by me, by lots of people. There's lots of people targeted. Look up, Google targeted individual and organized cyberbullying together. Organized cyber crime, organized cyber bullying, and targeted individual. So what's happening is targeted individuals have, you know, whistleblowers, for instance, which is me. I'm a whistleblower, and I've been calling foul since the Kennedy assassination. That's what I am. I'm a way back whistleblower, and they're targeting people like us that have information or trying to get things exposed. There's rules of order for debate that are never followed on the internet. So, you know, at best, I'll call it friendly discussion. But, you know, and that's what I'm always looking for. Oh, look, we just lost everybody who was here. They all just bailed out. I had nothing but trolls here. Good. I don't care. Well, now we got some people back. Oh, that's what happened. It froze. Oh, something happened on your eye. It never showed any problem with the connection here. I'm using blue span wireless, and they're going right on to level 3, and Cox and stuff for transport onto the. I have a dish on the roof, and it's aimed at a tower that's not. There's a server farm like not far. And it's blue span wireless. Yeah, I have a voice over IP line. It's that's the address I gave. What's this? I forgot to upload that one. Let's see what's. I don't know what. I forgot what that was. But you can get me voice over IP here. Actually, get me video over IP there too. But I don't want to stream my machine that much by having the stream and that going video. So I guess, yeah, it looked like a whole mess of people just like fell off for some reason and come back. I'm wondering if I can make it. No, I better not wonder about that out loud. Just can't take it. Probably get me in trouble for wondering it out loud. So anyway, what's I have nothing right now. You know, we were talking. You know, the topic is you know, upper level transgender. You know, we're not going to debate the validity of the transgender condition here. I'm not going to entertain anybody's bullshit for very long. It's about I'm here and other grown-up transgender people are around the internet for young people who are committed to transitioning, or young people that are questioning whether or not they are transgender. I'm here to answer questions for those people. I'm also here to answer questions from interested cis people who want to know more about what it is to be transgender, what it's about, and so on. Anybody want to fight about being at, you know, fight about my background, or fight about, you know, trans women being men, or any of that happy shit, and then welcome here. Not today, not ever. You know, this is Real Things Artisans Cooperative Hippie Haven, and I'm Tommy Jane Tudor, and my main thing is about music and stones. Politics is kind of a sideline. So if anybody'd like to see some stones, say so. And I'm going to play music in a little bit. Maybe. Am I eating? Not right this minute. I'm rolling a joint. I'm gonna kill this. I don't think I know. I'm not gonna go over 3 hours right now. I don't want to. My butt hurts. I want to be outside. Now it's a little overcast, but it's warm. And well, you have a trans friend. How old are you girls? And is this a? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be on the street. There's a brother. I hope he notices that I'm live and tells me what his plan is. I can't remember his name. He's a busker that's not far away from here, that likes to busk up. I always busk downtown, but he's got some places that he works there, Midtown, that I want to meet him at. Yeah, I'm gonna go walking in the park for sure. I'm gonna go walking in the park. Probably. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Fuck yeah! I want to. I like to be outside for sunset, especially when the weather's nice. Where will I play today? Well, that's what I'm waiting to hear. Are you here in Tucson, Kashi? In time for Tyree, you're in Tucson? Where about? Back to while I'm waiting for Tyree to say something. Back to you and your trans girlfriend. Wherever you are, if you got somebody who's or I don't know, trans girlfriend or trans boy, you know, is this somebody assigned ANAB or APAB? It's a seminar. It's a conversation. It's come in and discuss these topics politely and rationally. That's what it is. I'm a transgender person who was born in 1954 and grew up in the neighborhood in Chicago. And I'm living in Tucson, and I'm part of the International Transgender Rights Activists networks. I'm Tommy Tudor, and I'm a saxophone back there and keyboard. But, you know, I'm old hippie, you know, old hippie musician dealing bright, shiny things. That's what I am. No, I wasn't in any greaser gangs. I was in the Jewish Defense League for a while in 1970 to 1974. And I didn't have a switchblade. I was real good with the short stick or anything else that was handy, like a brick or a car antenna. But it wasn't so necessary back then. We didn't get into many fights. No, I was one of the people that helped the nerds, stood between the bullies and the nerds. Okay, well, here, don't give out, don't give out any info. I just wanted to know, is your friend, is him now, or, here's what, yeah, I still don't understand if this is like someone who's a girl now that wants to be, that's in a boy. Oh, well, I'm not near Reed Park right now. But I can get there if there's a good reason. You know, like to jam or something, but not to humbug. So okay, so she was born a girl and wants to become a male. Transition to male. Here's where you start. Right. Well, that should be a standard. Here's where you start. Go Google this and find the chapter. This is Parents and Friends of Queer Kids organization. This organization, those are the two main organizations where that person is going to find what they need to know. GLAD they'll both have directories. The national ones will both have directories, so the one closest to where you guys are. Have they come out to their parents yet? Who doesn't help you at all? GLAD and P-Flag? Are you GNC and like out on your own? Is that just what's your story, Tyree? Definitely have them get in touch with, you know, the local trans organizations. Get some help with doing that. They'll you know, like the parents organization, there will be people that'll help them do that. Don't take me, baby. I told you all earlier. The only reason I'm here is because God's kept his hand on my heart and keeping it beating, and Mrs. God kept my hand on my feet, holding me to the ground. Thank them for not letting me get myself killed before now. I'm just finally, you know, I'm thanking you for like appreciating what I have to offer. Finally, you know, and before my old age. That was I was talking about that earlier, how I tried to, you know, it's about transition. You got to have your ducks in a row. Everything's got to be right all around you. That everybody close to your reality has to be accepting of what you're about to do. And you got to just do it. Don't look back. That was what they told me. Just get your ducks in a row and do it, and don't look back. And you'll know quickly if it's right for you or not. And it was just so right within the first week, because I'm not like a lot. I'm like me, you know. Every transgender person is different. I knew I had a problem when I was very, very young, and I knew what it was by the time I was 10. And I just absolutely refused to allow anybody to dictate my identity to me, ever. And just played along as best I could being man until I finally got tired of it and just walked away from it. And that, you know, but I couldn't just like totally unzip the boy suit and get rid of all the male aspects of my character that I've lived with for so long. And I didn't feel at all comfortable getting too femmy because I'd never been allowed to. But I'd actively suppressed that in me, that really au fait kind of, that's not me. I never was allowed to, and I never developed along those lines. Well, hello, Alan. Nice to meet you. Are you able to, are you socially transitioned and, you know, got a supportive family and all that stuff? And, you know, tell us more, please. You know, for me, this is just really wonderful to see the first generation of well-adjusted trans kids. Oh boy, you know, the queer kids when I was a queer guy, and I have to admit that there was my next door neighbor with a one queer kid. There was just too queer for our neighborhood. He was hounded real bad, and I have to admit I jumped in with it. But for the most part, I was the one who stood up to bullies. Mom does. Which one do you live with, or are they both together? You're lucky you have to aunt. My aunt and uncles were my aunt was the reason that my father and I survived my puberty. And Dad can handle it, and Mom's support. Dad can't handle it, and Mom's supportive. That's good. You know, I since 1999, the mental health, the overall mental health of trans. You know, I've been reading the literature since 1974, the personals and the technical literature. You know, if I'm going to brag on anything, that's one thing that I got that most transgender people don't have is I'm a walking storehouse of knowledge about us. The only one who's got more and more available, more readily available. Let me get you her link. You know, if you want to talk about role models, the one transgender person I admire more than any other transgender person is Ms. Lynn Conway. Let me get you her homepage. Lynn holds the patent to microprocessors that are critical to what you're holding in your hand or sitting at a desk with. And she was fired by IBM. Here's her Twitter. She was fired by IBM when she came out and Xerox let her transition on the job. No, I'm not on Tumblr. Was all full of too much porn. I'm at Instagram pushing my stones mainly. I really want to avoid the, you know, it's like Wendy Carlos, for instance. When she transitioned, she, you know, I don't remember whether she announced it on purpose or whether she got outed. In those days, people got outed. That's how Carolyn Cossie got into the limelight. Was she was outed. She was enjoying a stealth. She was in stealth. You know, she started out as an exotic dancer and married a guy that like financed her surgery, and then she was making it as a model and actress real well, and then somebody outed her. And that happened with April Ashley, all of them, all of the 60s and 70s and early into the early 80s. They were getting outed. A lot of that, and Caitlin's been trying to transition supposedly since the mid 80s, and she got outed before she was ready to out herself. And that's you know, that's part of this institutionalized oppression against trans people. It's like, you know, I mean, here I am. I had no choice in the matter, and they went and carved on my stuff because it didn't look right. It is. It needs to be banned. And the next worst thing you can do to them is conversion therapy, and that needs to be made outlawed as well. That's my two main issues. My third is fuck passing. I am what I am. If you don't like the way I look, well, you're either gonna respect my preferences as for my gender identity, or you get the fuck out of my life. Quick. I try to stay polite, and thank God I haven't had to get like really hostile to convince anybody they need to get the fuck away from me. Because Tom comes out and like people's eyes go like, and thank God I haven't had to go full ballistic on anybody in many years. Thank you, Alan. Well, I get passionate sometimes, and they mistake that for me being angry and agitated, but I'm just being passionate about something. No, and you know, I want to make it real clear to anybody who's going to want to misconstrue all these youngsters in my audience. I'm an artist, an entertainer, and an educator. I am not interested in having sex with any of them. I want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. That's what I get hostile about, Junior. So Tyree, tell me about yourself. You're in the park right now. You're welcome to stop by. I'm near 22nd and 6th. You know, I'm right down the street from you. I'm you know, give me a good reason. I'll hop to number 7 and come to you with my horn and my flute. Or you can come down here if you like. I have a keyboard to play. There's a guitar in the house. Donald needs to leave. Where's Donald? I don't see any Donald here. Yeah, I remember 8-track, but I never had them. We had cassettes, we had vinyl. I hope you mean Donald Trump, because I don't see any Donald in the chat here at all. See if anything's cooking anywhere. Let's just have. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's not COPD. I have chronic upper respiratory issues from dust and pollen allergies. And marijuana is therapy to clearing mucus. Yeah, it's Bellowitz. She's interesting. I'm pretty sure she's cis. Oh no, she's trans. She's a female, male to female trans apparently. She's called Bellowitz, eaten by a whale. polymath, music, writing, sewing, and software. That's a real typical trans layout there. When I was in college, there were some studies done that showed that people in the sciences tended toward the arts for minors, and people in the arts tended to have science for minors. That, you know, there's this creative, inquisitive mind that wants to not focus on any one particular thing, but a number of things. She may remove her clothing, which I do too. May sew more clothing. I don't do that. She, her, DMs open. She's got about 6,000 followers, and is real prolific. She's only had 8,000. Let's see how long has she been here? Been at it. Lovely, lovely dark-haired lady. She's got a lot of photos. I don't know if she's what a sweetheart. Is she modeling it? Is that you modeling it? Yeah. So you have no idea how uplifting it is for me to see happy trans people everywhere. It just does me so good. It makes me happy just to see others happy. Hello. Yeah, so, you know, who's the loser? Angry, unhappy children calling to yell at me. Where is she? Oh, she's in Manchester, England. Yeah, that's really, you know, I just met her through. She's just lovely. She's not, you know, she's hard to say. She's in Manchester, England. She makes clothes, and I think this is her. Yeah, that's her modeling it. It looks great on her. I hate your hair, baby. I really hate your hair a lot. I hate her hair. It's down past her boob, thick and full. Blah. That's okay. Yeah, everybody's gonna call me a transgender after that little outburst. That you just don't know what you're looking at. Just rude assholes. Here's what I'm looking at right now myself. I'm looking at Bella Witch, eaten by a whale's profile, and she's a seamstress, and here's a little video of her modeling one of her dresses. Yeah, I'm really pleased to see you kids here wanting to know things. Just you're sitting here with your plant. Well, yeah, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Tell me about yourself. What part of the park are you in? Or maybe just like call me on the side and we'll talk. Are you of age of consent? You're 18? Because it definitely would be a very, very, very bad idea for me to meet somebody who's a minor. You're an older gentleman. Oh, really? Cool. Cool. I think I'm going to wrap this up then. Are you a cis or trans older gentleman? in especially with older people, there's many euphemisms for. Oh wow. Uh-huh. Have we met before? Like, are you that black guy that I met downtown by the uh by the Ronstadt Center? I ran into a older trans guy at the Ronstadt Center. So, are you telling me that you transitioned at 5 years old? Because when I'm 64. I was 64, and up until very recently, it was extremely unusual for anybody to be able to medically transition before they were 30. Oh. Now they're calling it a meth head. That's like totally ridiculous. I'm allergic to that shit. Oh, you're a much older gentleman. Cool. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna be like getting the shower any minute now. I'm gonna get cleaned up and come out and see you. I think I do believe you did invite me to come visit you in the park, or would you like to meet somewhere else besides the park? We're right at the moment. We're about I'm down by 6th and 22nd. Where in the park are you? Well, is this the one the meth head loser? This is fucked up. No, fuck off. Fuck off. (7-Eleven) on 7-Eleven on 22nd Street. Yeah, look, dude, you're getting blocked. This number's getting blocked. Excuse me, I need to block a number. That's calling me up, calling me meth head loser. Guys, people try to crucify me for. Fuck, I gotta block this number like right now. I didn't want to do that. I didn't block it. You're blocked, dude. It's blocking your number. Block. Block it. Okay, it's blocked. Go generate a new number. 29. And what? I'm on 6th. The 7 bus runs up 6th. I'm at 6th and 22nd. The 7 bus runs up 22nd. There's the nearest 7-Eleven to me. Are you driving or walking or on bus? I'm pedestrian. Yes. What else would you like to say? I don't have the speaker on, but I want to listen to, what your opinion is. Yeah. Oh, you homeless piece of shit. These are alt-right. They're young, dumb, full of calm. frustrated, lonely, stupid people that have been raised on lies delivered to them over digital appliances. Okay, the closest one to me is 885 East 22nd, which is going to be at Campbell, I think. Where is it? No, it's at Park. There's a 7-Eleven at Park. Oh, I see what 7-Eleven you're talking about. You're all the way on the east end of the park. You're all the way by Alvernon. But you know what? Oh yeah, I'm fine, thank you. 61 Bel Air. Okay, I'm gonna need to see a photograph. You know, I've been trolled from the internet for so many years to Tyree. I'm gonna need you to send me something to, you know, I'm not gonna meet anybody blind like that. No way. I'm gonna need you to send me a picture, fresh one. Text it to my phone. I'm not coming out blind, man. No way. I need to see a picture. I got too many people threatening me. You know, I hope you understand that. And I'm fine. I took a hit of pot. Now it's working up here. I need to. Mucus accumulates all from about here up to here, and it just comes pouring out of my sinuses this way, and my body can't process it fast enough, and I end up coughing a lot. Yeah, you're gonna need to text, call me, man. I'm not coming out blind like that off the chat on my YouTube channel. No personal offense, but I hope you understand the security issue. As a matter of fact, I need see something real soon, please. Well, I think I want one. Well, she's a sweetheart. Just such a sweetheart. She's a lovely lady. I don't know how long she's been transitioned, but she's just a lovely lady. She makes clothing, plays music. Yeah, well, you know, here's an idiot who has been texting me. You're a narcissist. You've got a personality disorder, dude. I'm speaking directly to you, dude. I'm going to be sitting in your bushes to serve you, dude. Stupid idiot. Serve, macho man, not block idiots like you. Then I report it. I'm just collecting it, and the police are going to end up with all these threatening, that's a threatening phone call. And I'm not going to call the cops on this one. I'm going to sit down with them, and they're going to empty my phone. How many of you people that are accusing me of dog fucking and pedophilia are going to get caught with bestiality and kitty porn in your phones? I'm not going to. Why would I want the Expedia app in my phone? See what that is. Someone trying to invite me to do something? Oh, they're trying to get me to download some shit. Fuck that. It's all there. Um, uh, uh, um, I'm in no hurry, man. We're right down the street, and if you're for real, I'm like looking forward to this. I'm in no terrible hurry. This is where I live, and you're just right down the street. And if you're for real, we're gonna get connected tonight. Hopefully that we'll be able to like enjoy each other's company. I imagine I'm not. I have a lot of friends, but very few in town. Like my two closest friends in town just left. So I'm kind of like, I mean, there's all kinds of people I run into all over town that know me, and we might spend a little time together when I run into them. But that's it right now for me in town. I got all my friends are elsewhere. So I take it you smoke weed too. I'm like looking forward to you being for real. Yeah, don't worry about who just take your time. Take your time. You know, um, okay, that's the car. Can I see a picture of you, please? Mm. Boy, this woman, Paris's friends. She's Bella. She's interesting. She's passionate and right on with what she's saying. And what she's bitching about is the real bitch. And there's so much courage. That seems so much. The community since 1999. People identifying publicly as transgender since 1999. I see it steadily becoming stronger and stronger, more cohesive, and people talking about just wonderful things happening in their lives, all sorts of successes and all sorts of different careers. It's just been wonderful. And like I was saying earlier, the Mason family with the father and daughter, or mother and son, mother and son transitioning together. The mother's female to male, and I guess the child is going to still call him mom on the other end. And Corey's been just very politically vocal, extremely political, more than Jazz, I think, even. And those two even got together at some point. They did a photo shoot together. There's all kinds of these fundraising events and shit. But where's the money going? There are no shelter beds for transgender people. There's no there are hardly any shelter beds for just general spectrum. They're just safe for queers. And there's just almost no transgender shelters. There's so little infrastructure for transgender people. It's one of the things one of the things that Caitlyn Jenner refused to respond to me about was we need community centers that got beds that are safe for LGBT spectrum people. Queer spectrum. Let's just call it the queer spectrum. I'm on the queer spectrum. There was a non-binary crowd that was trying to promote quilt bag, queer or questioning, unisex, undecided. I don't know what the U was, but then all the other letters were what they usually stand for. A was going to be agender or asexual. Yeah, that about covers it right there. Intersex, lesbian, transgender, bi, and gay. And it's much easier to say than LGBTQIA, or whatever. Yeah, I think I erased the P or something. I don't know. Excuse me. I like to keep it simple. Real simple. People ask me what I think about this and that and the other thing. It's I'm not gonna throw a blanket over a whole class. I take things on an individual case by case basis and judge you on your character, the way you're behaving and what you're saying and how you act. Are you following your golden rule or not? How are you treating me? That's really the first thing. I don't know. How does I'm that deaf, dumb, and blind kid growing up, and it's how does your heart feel on me right here? Is it saying, well, okay, just shut up and listen? Or is it saying, get the fuck away from this person right now? Or is it sending blood down to my penis, wanting to have sex with this person? It's kind of like the main, this is how I react to things. It's okay, now I feel you here. I'm feeling you here. And, it's okay, I'm going to tune that out. I don't want to hear that shit. Or, no, I don't want to look at that shit. And really, you gotta really give me, something's got to be there for me to even, especially after years on hormones, for me to even feel it down below. You gotta really convince my brain that there's a reason to. after 4 years on hormones. Okay, I'm getting a little weird, but that's okay. That's fine. I think I'm about to meet an older trans man. I'm 0 for 4 with trans guys, but this guy's older than me. For the first time, there's an older one. Well, I'll be damned. Okie dokie. Well, where are we going to meet? Okie dokie. Where are we going to get together? So, how about that? Well, yesterday, my life is just gets better and better. That's the motto, better and better, and that's been happening, boy. Things were doing real well, and I had a very bad setback in the middle of the gym show that's still plaguing me. But I think the police are dealing with it. I hope, if it lets it, at very least, the guy's getting dragged into a courtroom to talk about what he's doing and convince a judge that what he's doing is not in excess of First Amendment protections. What am I looking for here? Oh, yeah. And where is it now? What was I looking for? I forgot what I was looking for. Okay, that's what I was. Oh, yes. All right. There it is. Yeah, I need to put a certain name up for Bella. I'll share it with you guys too. Oh shit, did I close that down? Yeah. This is a big machine with a lot of shit in it, and it's not real fast. But like the browser could have 20 tabs open and things going on in all of them. Okay, now this is gonna be here. Looks like not. It's like I was cleaning. I need to clean out my download folder and move some images into sorted folders that I have in the picture library. I need to get. I just let things sit in the download, and it's like, oh no, there's too many here, and I don't know which ones I've got saved or anything. When? Oh, I'm not finding that image. The one that says I'm a classy lady that says fuck a lot. She's fellow what's going on. I can't find it. Oh well. I'm not gonna hunt after it. I hate it when people say trans women are not ladylike. It's 2019. There's no such thing as ladylike. This is true. There are only limitless ways in which females express themselves. And yes, trans women are females. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't find the meme, so I just talked to her a little bit. I have many cisgender female friends who are frustrated with me, and there are gay guys who act way more stereotypically feminine than I do. It's a hormone thing. T makes you hostile, aggressive, and E is much more sedate. Enforcing gender-specific grooming is absurd. No, I dress unisex pretty much. Guys and women, men and women wear what I wear mostly. And there's more men wear skirts. I see a whole lot of burly guys wearing kilts lately. So anyway, get back to you. Hang on, can I get to the 7-Eleven? Oh, that 7-Eleven. It'll be. Let me see where it is. I don't know what. Yeah, sure, Reggie. Because it's not quite that. It's, I don't care who's there. It's what they're doing when they're there. The gatherings for everybody to go to, but it's, there's no like, let's say, there's consensus on things that are encouraged and discouraged, and I'm not pointing a finger directly at all juggalos, and nothing with the band at all. The band has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, and all juggalos are not guilty of what I'm talking about. Same, just with anything like this that I'm going on about. Same thing. Everybody else that was doing wrong shit was doing wrong. The aim of the prayer circle is to advance consciousness a notch or two. The synergy of the symbiosis of the thousands of people with the focused prayer. And if you're not at the gathering, to be at that circle on noon of the 4th of July, if everybody on that land is not focused on that circle, they're doing the wrong thing at the gathering. At noon. I'm not saying you have to be like all spiritual all the time and I'll be praying all the time. It's just there's a general energy. We're inviting everybody of all walks of life, all races, religions, creeds, everything. Everybody come circle with us for world peace and healing. Is what's supposed to be going on. Anybody who's not there to participate in that circle or something supporting the circle on the 4th of July should be somewhere else. You should have gone to a different gathering, because that's not whatever they did. And it always involves alcohol and drugs and violence and theft and things like that. And I don't know enough about the specifics of it to say much more. But there's too much drugs and alcohol and violence and theft and sex abuse and all kinds of shit like that. And I think on that note, it's 5 o'clock. Yeah, Tyree, how come you can't come to me? I'm the lady here, remember? You got the car. I'm supposed to get on a bus, come to you, and you say, no. Yeah, how come you can't get here? It's special interest groups. Juggalos are a special interest group. Bronies are a special interest group. Rainbow hippies are a special interest group. On. It's what are you into in the hive mind. Now, some hive-mindedness, there's people that are very high spiritual, chanting and praying together and dancing and doing all that high spiritual stuff together. And then there's people that are out there doing the Clockwork Orange thing together, special interest groups and their agendas. Some are righteously motivated, and others are. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, you do that. I don't know if I want to come up there. When are you going to be done doing that? And I definitely like, oh, you sent me something. I can call you, can't I? I think it's time to end the stream. Yeah, it's time to end the stream. You take a call? Well, no, it's not necessary. It's like I said, I can't wait until you come for me. You have a car, right? It's your car. You could drive it over here when you're done doing what you're doing. Oh. So you're a busser too. You're riding buses. You're riding buses? Yes. Because yeah, if that's what's happening, yeah, I can come to you, and you're going to be here for another 2 hours. Yeah, I can get there. I can get there around 7 pretty easily, and be freshly showered and everything. Matter of fact, I think that's what I want to do. That sounds like a plan. Is to meet you soon. Like cut this off and come to you. Oh, that's your car? Oh no, Rebecca. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's this. Yesterday was a cis woman. And today is a trans man. Yippee. New friends in town. Wow. That's praise God. That's I see it from my nose. Oh, so you got to take a bus away from there, or are you getting picked up? Or are you near where you live? Like what's going on? Or don't you want to talk about that here and talk to me in on my text? Let's just move to my phone. These people don't need. Uh, we don't need to be talking there. I might be in the mood to splurge too. I don't see any trolls saying anything nasty. I just see you and Rebecca right at the moment. Is anybody saying anything nasty? I mean, there were earlier. They've been pretty quiet. I'm a good. Oh, geez. Oh, this is just so awful. In Palestine, they're just kicking people out of their houses and then just moving like settlers in. Like take them out and then the settlers move right in. Yeah. Not much going on there. Goodbye Twitter for the day. I think it's time to like move away from the keyboard. I'm Now I gotta pay attention. Pay attention to the phone. Let's move our conversation, Tyree, to the phone. Oh, are you targeted too? You get beat on online all the time? I'm gonna take a smoky break and see what the weather feels like telling me to put on. I don't have any clean clothes. I mean, my favorite clothes are all dirty right now. Oh, so you're another targeted individual because you're queer? You got how t-shirt? I have t-shirts. My favorite clothes are clean. That's what bothers me. I'm just thinking what I want to wear. Okay, well, me and my peers don't find that kind of stuff the least bit amusing. Fortunately, um, YouTube isn't letting it happen. Letting these people shit be seen. Stopping it. I saved myself. I don't know what you apologize for. I don't know why you were apologizing. Um, are you okay with being called queer? I'm okay with being queer. I'm okay with tranny even. Um, I'm not okay with like some of the other things. You know, I will. You know, if there's a homosexual man or somebody who's militantly heterosexual that is being hateful to me, I will get hateful to them. I haven't gone off. When I first came out, the turfs got on my case, and Trustons gave me a really rough way to go at the beginning, and then I just got a handle on it and stayed clear of it. Pretty much, it's like I spot them because that's not LGBTQ. That's like just mentally ill people. Because like if you're either embracing otherness or you're not. If you're recoiling, if you're about fear and loathing, it's like if you're not willing to listen and don't worry, be happy, and hey, just throw that negativity at the door and let's like sing and dance. You're on the wrong channel, and I get away from it. I just this last week or so because I blocked it Facebook and I just recently lost a Twitter account, so I'm rebuilding it. So all my older transgender contacts were gone, and I got into I got some responses from things was responding to Paris Lees, who's one of the leading young advocates, and she's really doing some great work. She's I think I'm not sure exactly what her relationship might be with mermaids, but I'm sure she has something to do with that and any other big organizations. And she's like a performing artist, I think, but she's definitely a wonderful writer. She's an excellent writer. Mermaids, yeah, that's it's a transgender support for it's a support group for young mermaids, not young mermaids, for young transgender people. Here we go. No, that's not it. Huh. Mermaid hair accessories is not what I'm looking for. They're I think the oldest gender diverse and transgender children support for teenagers, children, and professionals. They got teenagers, parents, and professionals, and they're totally legit. They're the main support group in the UK. But I wanna get up there. So I'm gonna say, like, hey guys, thanks for coming. I hope we covered some like worthwhile ground for some younger trans people. And I'm gonna go meet this guy. Picked up on me. Bye. Happy day. Thanks for watching.